Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Service Riders Anonymous. I am Amy, as always, with my host, Brooke.
Hello again.
Today, we are talking about the differences between warranty and insurance. So,
There's a difference.
yes.
They're not the same thing, and don't come at me when I tell you that. Let's start there. Okay, you came to us for a reason. Let's start with that also. So if I tell you anything, why are you mad? And specifically with warranty and insurance. So your insurance is like your car insurance or your health insurance. Like, not your warranty to repair your vehicle. Those are different things.
That would be cool if you could have a
Like,
warranty on your body.
right?
Wouldn't that be nice?
I would love that. I would love that. I'd go back to the hospital that it birthed me.
Right?
Insure me. Insure me that I'm going to be healthy for the rest of my life.
Yeah. So, warranty is something that you either are given with a brand new vehicle or purchased with a used vehicle, and that covers mechanical breakdowns and defects. If you hit a rock rolling down the interstate and it punctures your radiator or your AC condenser, that's not a warrantable condition.
Nope, it's outside influence.
If you blow a tire and destroy the side of your bed, that's not something we can help you with.
Nope.
We're also not a body shop most of the time. Some dealerships are. Some dealerships do have a body shop, a glass shop, and a repair facility all in the same building. Most of us do not.
Yeah. Especially if you're going to a smaller shop because you're trying to get a lower price for whatever it is you're wanting. You can't expect it to be a one-stop shop because 9 times out of 10, it is not. I can't tell you how many times people come in, and we really do strictly repairs, strictly like mechanical repairs, swapping parts. That's what we do. We don't do body work. We don't reform anything. We don't do tint, nothing like that. But people ask all the time, well, can you just do it all here?
No. No, I can't.
And then my favorite is after we tell them no, they say, why? Why? What do you mean, why? I don't have the answer to that question. I just work here.
Because the owner of this dealership has not decided that she wants to have a body shop or a glass shop or any of that. Or even at a new car dealership, like, it is a difficult conversation to have with people sometimes if they don't realize, like, this was actually an outside influence, like the rock and the grill.
Those have got to be my favorite. I could specifically, that's perfect, is at GMC, because, I mean, so you also have factory warranty and extended warranty, right? Those are also two different things.
Yeah.
So factory warranty is whatever manufactured that vehicle, whoever, Ford, for instance, just because I have a Ford, we'll use them. I have to go to Ford for all of my recalls, all of my factory warranty. What came with that vehicle when it came off of the factory. That's what I'm going there for. Because otherwise I'm not going to get that with my extended warranty going to a different shop.
Yeah.
Not a certified Ford shop. But anyways, at GMC, an elderly couple came in. They were super sweet, adorable. I love my older people. I call them my pocket customers, which it sounds creepy if I just say it like that. So sidetrack really quick because that makes me sound creepy. That is when I have customers in my pocket, is I don't want anything to hurt them. I don't want them to have to pay for anything because like they've been through it already. Anyways, so they came in, said that the radiator was leaking. We got it in, and it was a rock. It was a rock that went through it, and it was obvious. And I had to explain that to them. And at first, they were upset with me because they were like, well, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't do that. And I was like, well, I'm not saying you did. Right. This isn't a personal attack against you when I tell you something also. I'm just telling you what happened and why it's not getting covered.
Right. Exactly. My job is to relay information between warranty, parts, technicians, and customers. Mm-hmm. I don't have control over any of the information I give you. I'm just passing it on.
It's not like personal opinions or like personal attacks to people. Like, I don't just see like somebody come in and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make sure nothing gets warranted. It doesn't happen, at least for us. Yeah. I don't think I've ever, in my years, have ever seen an advisor purposely not get something warranted because they just don't like you.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that, to be honest with you.
And they barely get fired for it. I mean, that is your job, is to take care of your customers and communicate everything between parts warranty technicians.
Yeah, and typically if we don't like you as a customer, we trade you off to another advisor.
Very true.
It's real.
Very true.
I've
And as a customer, if you don't like your advisor, you can always call a service manager and say, hey, I'm really not getting along with this advisor. Can you move my car to someone else?
yeah.
And they'll do it. They'll totally
They
do
will,
it.
absolutely. Because at the end of the day, nobody wants friction. Nobody wants to have any inkling of not wanting to talk to the other person, the customer or the advisor, because they don't want to talk to them because they're mean.
Yep.
Like, we, as a customer and your advisors, have to work together in a sense to be able to figure out what's wrong with your car, what you got to do to repair it, if warranty's going to cover it, wherever you need to go. If it's under factory warranty, we look that up for you. Even if we aren't at a factory dealer, we can find that. If it is under warranty there and you don't have to pay anything, which what we mean when we say that is with your extended warranty, you typically have a deductible, which I think is why warranty and insurance get confused so often, is they both do have a deductible.
Yeah.
But typically with your insurance, it's a much larger deductible, $1,000 to $5,000, depending on what level of insurance you have on your vehicle.
Right, depending on what you pay for every month.
Absolutely. So, with your extended warranty, it's typically like $100. I mean, I think the most that I've seen is $500 for a deductible through warranty.
No, I haven't seen anything higher than 100 personally, but I never, as far as like extended warranties in an aftermarket, or if you're purchasing it with the vehicle, so you purchase a brand new Toyota, I know because they have a 36,000 or 3-year warranty. And then at the time of your purchase, you can opt to extend that to 8 years, 100,000, or whatever the case may be. I think there's a couple different options that Toyota Financial Services will allow dealerships to sell.
Yeah.
But the most common was the 8-year, 100,000 mile. And that warranty and the 120,000 mile warranty I had on my Renegade through Jeep did not have any deductibles. So when you're purchasing an aftermarket warranty for a used car is where you're going to run into deductible.
And also, depending on the vehicle that you have, if you purchase it as a used vehicle and get an extended warranty with that used vehicle, it depends on what kind of vehicle it is. If you have a 2012 Fords just are my thing. So a 2012 Ford F-150 that has 200,000 miles on it, the best warranty you're going to get is possibly an endurance warranty that is a select component. But you have to ask about that stuff. Like, what am I really getting warranty? The salesmen love to use terminology of everything's covered, bumper to bumper, all your powertrain.
Yeah.
But what does that mean? Ask that question.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
and-
your information to have.
Right, and ask that question while you're sitting in finance paying for the warranty, because the financial advisor, the financial manager?
Yeah.
F&I manager. That person is who has access to your contracts. That person is who knows what they're selling you. The salesperson has no idea.
No, they're supposed to be that way. I think across the board, salesmen aren't supposed to know exactly what's going on with the vehicle mechanically or exactly how to talk about their warranty, which I've had sales managers tell me. They like to keep their salesmen stupid. They want them to know all of the features of the vehicle and how to sell it, but they don't want them to know if there's anything actually really wrong with it. Or,
Well, and I feel like that's also very dealership specific. But,
yeah, no, that's fair. But, like, I need salesmen
but yeah,
as
as far as, like, the financial side, you know, as a salesperson, you already have so much that you're trying to teach this customer, especially with the newer vehicles. Like, there's so many features and gadgets you have to show them how to use, and there's so much of an information dump on the customer when they pick up a vehicle. I don't think that it's fair to expect the salesman to also know what's going on in finance.
Right. I mean, no, not necessarily. But I mean, I think that as a salesman, they should know more about what they're selling. Just because, I mean, I don't understand how you can sell Like that.
Well,
What is
yeah,
that saying?
if you
I
don't
can sell
know,
ice to an Eskimo.
if you don't know what the contract is going to cover, you should not open your mouth. That's
Yeah.
very true.
I agree with that. That's more of where I was getting at.
Yeah.
Is like, don't talk about it or say anything about it if you don't actually know.
Yes.
Because, I mean, that's like liability on you a little bit. I mean, us as advisors, if we don't tell somebody they have a severe oil leak that is so bad that they could run out of oil in the next couple of weeks and blow up their motor, that comes back on us.
Yes.
That's why we have waivers and signs and all kinds of stuff. Service policies that we made.
Back to insurance. So,
Yes.
yeah, if you destroy the side of your truck bed with a blown tire or something like that, you take that to a body shop. You don't take that to your mechanic.
And you file it through your insurance.
Insurance.
Insurance specifically is the outside influence damage
Yes.
to your vehicle. Warranty is the internals.
Yes. Warranty covers mechanical defects. Insurance covers accidents and oopses.
And it's interesting that we have to explain that.
Yeah, but I also do think that a little bit of that is just because, like, going back to the first episode, we're car people.
Yeah.
So we understand that. We've been in this world forever.
Right.
Betty Jo, who has her third house and lives in Texas 99% of the time, her Texas dealership does. She drops off the car, they're going to do a paint correction on the detail side,
Right.
they're going to vacuum it, they're going to...
She's gonna pick it up, it's gonna be a brand new car
Yeah.
every time.
When you take that to a, 200 square foot repair facility. That's
Yeah,
a little,
exactly.
That's a little dramatic. We weren't quite that small.
We know what we mean.
When you take that to a shop that has 3 lifts and 3 guys, like,
Right.
we're not going to be able to do all that.
No.
We're not
No,
going to fix
ma'am.
the chip in your windshield.
Take that to Safelight. They make commercials for that stuff.
And even then, like, I don't know of a body shop. I don't know of a dealership in town that also does glass work.
I don't
Here.
know of any except for when they sublet them out.
Yeah, I know Chevy has a body shop, but they don't, as far as I'm aware, they don't do glass
Like-
work.
The second Chevy shop, not the GM shop.
Correct. Yeah, Chevrolet.
Oh, I didn't know that they actually had a body shop.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that. I do know that now in some cases, what is called a sublet is we send it out and have it done. We just do the transportation for you.
Yes.
But also with that, you have an extra charge. Typically. I mean, at my bigger dealership when I worked at GM, we marked it up by 20%. Whatever the sublet cost, so if it costed, I don't know, 120, 20% of that is what, $20?
Yeah, something like that.
Whatever it is. I'm not doing math right now, it's morning. And whatever that becomes. So whatever that markup is, that's what we charge you. So you actually pay me more to do the driving around for you because, well, I need to pay for that driving around.
Right, I have to pay my hourly guy to go do it.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, there's benefits to it for sure. We enjoy it.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I would 1000% rather sublet something for you and be able to get it back and have my technician test drive everything and double check their work and make sure everything is good to go than say, hey, I'm just going to make this appointment for you. You take the car in, you pay them, and then you're coming back mad at me because it wasn't done right.
Yes.
You touched on recalls too a little bit.
Yes. So when you come to us as a used car facility, we are not a certified in any manufacturer specifically. We just can sell all of those vehicles, and we are the shop that maintain those used vehicles that we get from auction, whatever that is.
Yeah.
So
And
in
we
that
can-
situation,
We can do all of your repairs. We can
Absolutely.
take care of everything. But if you have a factory recall that's not going to cost you any money, that has to be done at your dealership, at your manufacturer dealership specifically.
and I'm sorry if you decided to buy a Mazda in small town Colorado and you have to drive 3 hours to a Mazda dealership.
Yep.
You, as the customer, have got to do your research. You've got to do your research. And those recall notices you get in the mail, they'll tell you that it has to go to the selling or that dealer. It has
Yeah.
to go to the dealer. And that doesn't just mean any dealership. That means the dealer, the factory dealer.
And if you purchased your truck in Wyoming for some reason and drove it back to Colorado or Texas or wherever, like, you don't have to take it back to the dealership you bought it from, but you do have to take it to that manufacturer's branded dealership.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even with the free maintenance, like Toyota, Lexus, Honda, Ford does have some free maintenance. Yes, you have to take those back to the brand dealership to get those free services. I mean, you're not required to by any means. If you want to let them go, you let them go. That's up to you. You can have your services done at a quick lube or a small repair facility. You're just gonna have to pay for it.
Yep. And I'm sorry, I didn't make it this way. I'm just the communication.
I just translate what the technician says.
I think we say that 50 times a day. I'm just trying to explain. Just trying to help you, Margaret. Calm down. I love maintenance getting covered under warranty.
Yes.
So, my absolute favorite. Why isn't my oil change, brakes? Actually, nope.
Brakes.
We're going to talk about light bulbs. Actually,
Oh
this
my
specifically happened to me, and I still have nightmares about it. So,
Toyota will cover light bulbs under basic warranty, just in case anybody wondered.
what? Yeah, we're going to come back to that. So, I had a customer come in. She came in, and specifically, I had told her before she came in, we'll figure out which bulb is out on the car, and then I'll quote you. Which means it ain't free. That means it's not going to be free. It means that me looking at it is free for you because it doesn't take a genius to figure out which light is out.
Yes.
So, oh my God, this one still just messes with me physically. So, I made sure I told her this because I've worked with her in the past and she's an absolute nightmare. Terrorist. She's terrifying. So, okay, stay focused. She came up, I quoted her for the bulb. It was like $60 or something, because you had to take the whole assembly out of the bumper, and the bumper has to be dropped down partially. Mm-hmm. So I'm sorry, but it's not like the old days where you could just pop it up or even just pop off a little cover on the back and screw it in that way. It's not like that. You usually have to take more off. So anyways, I try to explain that to her, and she's like, this isn't free. And I said, why would it be free when I told you I was quoting you for this? And she said, well, my warranty should cover it. No, ma'am. It doesn't cover it. This is a maintenance items. So then I explained to her, it doesn't cover tires. It doesn't cover brake pads. It doesn't cover cosmetic issues. It doesn't cover that stuff. That is maintenance. She flipped out on me, told me we were scummy people and we take advantage of people and that we were the worst people in the world. Guess what? Her labor was supposed to be $30 and I only charged her $15 because I didn't want to deal with her. So that messed with me a lot, especially, and just listen. I think that's a big thing. People just listen. I think across the board, though, not just with service or even in a repair shop, fast food,
any
restaurant
service position,
yeah, just listen, Linda. Listen, Linda. We all watched that video. Come on now, we should know. Listen, Linda. Listen.
Yeah, we actually, again, like the factory warranty though from Toyota does cover light bulbs. And in all reality, for good reason, because you should not have to replace light bulbs before you get to 36,000 miles or 3 years. Like,
fair enough. That's true. I think Ford covers their batteries up to like 10,000 or it's some crazy mileage. I was actually kind of surprised for it being Ford.
Yeah, batteries also covered under basic 3 years, 36.
What else was it?
Yeah, your basic warranty when you first purchase a brand new vehicle, your basic warranty is going to cover more than anything else because all of the components on your vehicle, regardless, except for clutches and brakes, will not be covered under anything. But light bulbs, cosmetics, all of that, that's only going to be covered under your basic warranty. Every other warranty is not going to cover that kind of stuff because it's all considered wearable items.
Yep. And you have to buy a specific maintenance contract because there are some out there. Like I know specifically American Assurance sells a maintenance contract and it covers oil change, tire rotation, brakes. Mm-hmm. You can pick what level of maintenance coverage you want. Yeah. But that's also not something that's going to be free. It's something that you have to pay $3,000, $5,000 for, depending on what kind of contract you get. Because you're paying for bulk. Yeah. Is essentially what you're doing. And if you don't utilize it, that's not my fault either.
Yeah, Toyota, we did a tire rotation at every single service, and then Toyota recommended the oil change at 10,000. So literally the maintenance interval on Toyotas, how often your light's going to come on, is every 5,000 miles. Toyota will tell you to do a tire rotation every 5,000 miles. That is why that light comes on. And oh my God, how many times I got myself screamed at because I said, I don't have to charge you an extra $100 for your oil change today. You're only due for the rotate. What do you mean? I came here because this light says I need an oil change. Which actually on the 4Runners it does. Fun fact. The 4Runner says oil maintenance required every 5,000 miles, even though it's actually not. But, and I told every single customer that brought that up to me, I think the reason Toyota did that was because the 4Runner is intended and designed as an off-road vehicle.
Right.
And in an off-road towing rooftop carrier situation, you are supposed to change that oil every 5,000 miles. If you're off-road, if you're dirt roading a lot, if you've got a ton of dust in the air, like that's ultimately going to get into your oil, and it's also going to make your air filters go bad sooner too.
Don't get mad at me about that either.
Yeah. Don't. I still blown mind that people screamed at me when I told them, yeah, I only need to charge you $25 for a tire rotation. I don't need to charge you more than that today.
Yeah. like, are you mad? Are you mad that you don't have to pay it for as much?
If you want to have the oil changed, I'm more than happy to do that because I personally believe in that. I have seen, especially in the used car market, I knew about it. It was something that came up occasionally in my small repair facility, and I never saw it at Toyota. At Toyota, because those, again, were the people that were bringing their cars to the dealership all the time, they didn't have timing chain issues. But oh my Lord, at this used car dealership, and I told all of my customers exactly what the difference was. The filters.
Yep.
The Toyota branded filters are actually engineered to hold up for 10,000 miles. Napa, CarQuest, O'Reilly's, for the love of God, O'Reilly's.
For the love of Jesus.
Aftermarket filters are not engineered and designed to last 10,000 miles.
No, they're not. And
they are, they get clogged and you get that bypass and it just doesn't work. So that, I think, is why I see it now. And if I see another timing set on a F-150 this week, oh my God.
And it's because of what the recommended service is.
It's because they're telling
Ford
you can go 10,000 miles.
To hold this name of the lowest maintained vehicle. This is why. And so they tell you don't have to maintain the trucks. Or the vehicles, across the board, all their vehicles. You don't really have to maintain them. For instance, it doesn't tell me I have to change out my engine air filter. My engine air filter tell over 100,000 miles.
Oh my God.
I'd be surprised if my air my air wasn't clogged, and my truck would blow up. But no, I mean, for the oil changes, they tell you once a year at 10,000 miles on a specific EcoBoost engine.
Yeah. And that engine, so another thing to bear in mind if you live in a cold climate and you have to idle your vehicle.
Yeah.
Morning, evening, when you go home from work, whatever. If your vehicle is idling, your motor's not running as hard. The block is cold. So all of the metal is contracted. So you've got way more blow-by on your piston rings. And while you're sitting there, since it's not running as hard, it's not getting as much compression. So in addition to having a little bit lower compression just because you're sitting at idle, and because all the metal's contracted, fuel is draining through your piston rings into your oil pan. So if you live in a cold climate, you need to do, even if you do your oil change every 10,000 miles at the dealership, you really, really should consider doing an oil change more often in the winter time when you're letting it idle.
Yeah. And I'm one of those people. I idle my truck every single day. Every time I go to start it, I absolutely refuse to drive it cold because he's not happy.
Right. And you have those turbos are also, that's another thing to consider is you do have to. I know, what's his name on TikTok keeps telling everybody, you don't have to idle your motors. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. If you have got a turbocharger on that motor in particular, your turbochargers are high. In general, your turbocharger is up super high, so your oil pressure is going to get there last.
Yep.
So if you hop in that vehicle cold and you just bust on down the road, for a while there, your turbo is going to be running without any lubrication at all. And you're going to blow it out.
I mean, and I tell people all the time, specifically when I see people come in with their Ford EcoBoost, because it's a vehicle I believe in. I have always loved my F-150s and the EcoBoost engine specifically. I have experience with the 2.7 as well as the 3.5. That's what's in my current truck is the 3.5. I love them. They're great motors if you take care of them. And that means doing your oil changes. I mean, honestly, they're not that expensive.
Right.
And use the Ford parts. Use the Ford parts. I have had so many mechanics, even Ford mechanics, try and tell me that the Ford oil and the Ford filters are just the same as the Napa full synthetic brand. No, it is not. I had a master mechanic he was a Ford master mechanic, but he was working at Kia. He had gotten tired of the one that's in town. He worked for him for a long time and just seen him doing crappy stuff and didn't want to work for him anymore. So anyways, he told me that there's a difference. The material and the filters catch more in the EcoBoost so that it's not going through your turbos, because I guess whatever material's inside of it's supposed to be like thinner so that there's less bigger holes through it apparently, or something of the sort. But anyways, he explained it really fancy. I ain't no mechanic. Okay. And anyways, the oil is also better. It's just better. It's I love it. And I will use it every single time, and I won't use anything else. And my truck runs great. It's happier for it. And everybody always tells me you do your oil changes too soon. But every time I do it, it's black. From like a really pretty amber color, like a nice tree sap, beautiful color, to black, like a diesel. Yeah, okay, it's not that black, but you know what I mean. It's because of the turbos.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they're working off exhaust gas. Exhaust gas is going to have a certain amount of particulates no matter how much filtration they have. And speaking of particulates, did you hear the Maverick? I think it's actually the 2025 model, has the first U.S. production vehicle gasoline particulate filter.
That's scary.
Right? That's obnoxious. Like, the EPA doesn't have enough overreach in the diesel world. Now they're going after the gas engines too.
I thought they already did with like all the cats and stuff. Is that not?
It's not good enough for them anymore. Now we're going to add another level of restriction to the exhaust.
Like, oh my god. So, another fun fact is your vehicle can only get out what it's getting in. So if it can't get out, it's not going to pull in as much.
Yes.
So you're not going to be able to go that fast. If it can't breathe because your engine air filter's clogged and you specifically have a diesel Chevy, sir, I get that you've worked in the oil field your entire life and you are a big boy, but you need to change your engine air filter. It's $40 in a couple of clips, brother.
No.
Just do it. I'm trying to save you the $1,800 diesel particulate filter.
Yes.
Because warranty will not cover it, fun fact, if you don't maintain that truck.
Also, you can grenade your diesel particulate filter.
Really?
Yeah.
Sorry,
so,
I shouldn't get excited about that, but what?
and I know this from experience from my ex's truck. If you put a tuner on a fully emissioned vehicle,
Okay.
and this was pre diesel fluid, diesel exhaust fluid.
Okay.
So this was just a DPF, was the only like additional weird thing on this. It was a 2010.
Okay.
He put this tuner on it, and the guy that he bought the tuner from, because technically it was illegal to purchase a new tuner for this truck at that time.
Okay.
But this tuner he bought was purchased legally prior to that
Okay.
for 2009.
Oh, gotcha.
So he just bought it off this guy. And the guy told him, like, don't take it above, like, 3 or 4 until you delete the DPF. So he
what
turns
did
it
he
to
do?
7 on the way home. And literally, thank God we were passing the reservoir, literally blowing chunks of molten material out of the tailpipe from the diesel particulate filter as we're driving down the road. So yeah, when you tune your trucks, you make them run hot. Hot.
Holy Lord.
That's where the phrase hot tune comes from, because you're actually increasing the temperature in your engine and exhaust.
So do you counteract that by putting more cold air intake stuff so that it helps cool more?
Cold air
Like
intake will help with the
trans
engine.
coolers, engine coolers, that kind of stuff?
Yeah. So the engine, yeah, definitely cold air stuff on the engine. And you have to cut that DPF
Right,
off.
obviously.
The cats can cause issues with them. So yeah, like you can't hot tune anything that doesn't have exhaust modifications either
That's so...
because of that. Thank God we didn't start a wildfire.
So, like, a fun fact also for people, the whole reason I specifically got into this career is because I love to learn about it. I think it is so interesting. And,
Yeah.
I mean, I just got excited about exhaust blowing up. I didn't know that you could grenade an exhaust. But that's freaking legit. I mean, that would be some crazy stuff to see. All I'm saying is like a casual Tuesday, I'm just driving by the reservoir and I see you guys driving, molten metal spitting out your exhaust, and I'm sorry, but I'm recording. I'm recording. I'll be part of the problem.
Well, it was the middle of the night, so he can tell you I'm not lying.
Oh, I
This absolutely happened.
120% believe you. I believe you on that.
Oh my God.
And
That stretch of road has got some other memories, but anyway.
I have watched like engines run away. That's crazy to watch it like rev
Dieseling.
up so high to the point that it actually goes kaboot and like black smoke shoots out the exhaust.
Yep.
That is some stuff to see. I felt bad for the guy because it was a really nice truck and it was just idling and then just ran away.
Yeah. Well, and how many Toyotas have like been on the news for that?
Yeah.
Toyota Priuses are accelerating into preschools. Sorry. Oh my goodness, no! But and like, I don't know if your accelerator pedal sticks, people, or your acceleration just keeps going and you have no control, put that car in neutral.
Yeah.
Like, let it blow itself up. It's not worth you wrecking your car and dying. Blow the motor up and you'll be okay. Like, you as a individual will probably survive it. If you have to get a new car, that's fine. But, your car can be replaced. You can.
That's something that I think people don't realize is everything about your vehicle can be replaced. Everything about it. But you cannot and other people cannot.
Yeah.
So if you do something because you're like, oh, I don't want to wreck my Mercedes, I'm scared. But what if you hurt little old lady Janny that's walking down the road just trying to look at the grass? I mean, it's the same. I mean, we could definitely go into drunk drivers. All of that thing. Anything that you choose to do in a selfish way, I think bugs me. But that's a whole nother subject. Sorry, I sidetracked a lot.
So, one thing that I did really like at Toyota, towards... I guess I was still there for quite a while after we started doing that software. The software itself was an absolute pain, but our sales went up significantly because if you're doing a video inspection, like part of the training our technicians went through was when you start your video, you start on the front of the car so the customer can see their license plate and know it's their car. You're walking up as you're filming, showing them their filters and everything like that. So they know, number one, it's my car. They can see the condition of the filter for themselves. They don't just have to take your word or the technician's word for it. And I had multiple customers, especially one like great big burly dude, that were like, I would have never told you to do that if I hadn't seen it.
Yep. I had it a lot at my other dealership. It was one of my favorite things we had. But at that dealership, we had a videographer, so somebody that actually did it. And I mean, again, he did help with like other things, but for the most part, he just took the videos for the technicians because they're not supposed to talk to you customers. Okay? Because let me just give you a bit of perspective, okay? When they go over there, your cabin air filter, they say, this is so dirty. What do you smoke, 6 packs a day? I mean, you'll get called out so hard you didn't even expect it. You just came in for car maintenance. You're also getting a reality check. That's why at that dealership we had a videographer, somebody professional, can talk to people like a normal human being and not be mean to them based on their car parts. So,
right.
He was great about it. But anyways, it definitely made my sales go up significantly because I was able to show people. And no matter if it was Jimmy from the oil field that's been there for 10 years and is mean and has a big old diesel Chevy with the flatbed and 2 fuel tanks. I'm not talking about anybody personally, but that tablet helped me.
Yes.
It helped me a lot, and it also made me feel so fancy too. Kind of like how our headsets make us feel. Like they make me feel real fancy.
Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hey, listen, Linda, we got those before you even came.
I know. It's like my desk was the biggest afterthought ever.
Yeah.
Like there was nowhere to put papers. I don't like. It's not a desk. It is a table.
It is a table.
It is a legitimate table with a computer, monitor, keyboard, and mouse. I didn't even have a mouse pad. I brought my own file thing so I can put papers somewhere.
Yep.
I bought my own pen cup. Mm-hmm. If it weren't for our other service advisor going across the street and stealing it, I wouldn't have a stapler.
Yep. Yep. You know, luxury is seen in different forms. Oh, man. And I also like to use that terminology a lot when I use those videos when I was talking to people, because they would be like, "What are you talking about?" And I'd be like, "Oh, let me let you into some luxury." And I'd flip my tablet around all seductively and show them, "Look at this." Buy this $550 service.
Okay, so that was one thing that actually annoyed me with our tablets was when we first started doing the tablet thing, like I had the ability to just present it to customers in the lounge. Yeah. I wasn't forced to send them a text message. And then they revamped the text inspection and changed up like a little bit of the formatting on it, and all of a sudden I didn't have a button where I could present it anymore. So like I could pull up the pictures and kind of show them to him from the same way I saw it,
but not in like some fancy presentation way.
Yeah, like I couldn't.
That would be sad.
When I had that button before, the present to customer was the exact same view that they had if I had sent them the text message. So it was laid out nice. It was simple to navigate if you could find it, because the way it was laid out, because it was intended for a mobile phone, but it was intended for somebody that had like an Ultra, or like one of my flip phone had a really long display. So like on a regular phone, on a your normal S24 or iPhone that's not a Pro or whatever, the display didn't show the button.
So it just was this long message about thank you for servicing your vehicle at Toyota.
Well, so it was just a preview and a PDF, and you couldn't see, like, there was another screen, like, there's a button that said view items.
Oh, dear Lanta.
You couldn't find that button unless you scrolled down.
I liked our software we used because I was able to email it, text it, and show it the exact same way, and they all looked the same. I loved it. I tried really hard to get it at our current dealership. I had her calling. I had service manager, salesman, like everybody, even that guy that came in, the foreign gentleman that came in to help us. Nope, wouldn't call us back, wouldn't come in for a meeting because we're too small of a dealership. So that's why I honestly use my phone so much at work. Like, I know that people are like, what are you doing? I gotta show. I like showing and telling.
Yeah.
Because, again, I'm not a mechanic. Not a mechanic.
Yeah.
So, if I mess something up and tell you that a tie rod is bad when it's a sway bar, that has never actually happened, but let's just say it did. Don't be mad at me. Get in there, and I'll show you a picture. I'll point to it. I'll show you why it's bad. I'm really great at that. Yeah. But talking in general, I don't know how I do this job. I thank the Lord for my customers because they just understand me. But
You're not that bad.
I think it comes down to they know that I care.
Yeah.
And I've had certain customers tell me they know that I care, which makes me feel good because I do care.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Trust me, I wish I didn't care sometimes, especially when they're mean.
Right.
Especially F-150 guys that are mad that they bought a used F-150 with 200 miles on it.
200,000.
Yeah, that's
right. That need timing chains because the previous owner did an oil change every 10,000 miles at Jiffy Lube. No.
Oh, also, fun fact, if you just let your vehicle sit for 2 years, don't start it. Just do an oil change on it, at least really quick. Because even if it sits, it still goes bad. It'll sludge. at least in your oil pan.
Yeah, less so with the synthetics than with conventional, but yeah.
Yeah.
In my experience, I think I have learned that the vehicles that last forever, the vehicles that get 3, 4, 500,000 miles on them, are the ones that you drive.
Yeah. Drive them. Get the cobwebs off of them.
Yeah.
They don't want to just sit. That's not what
Take
they're
them out
made
on the
for.
highway. Yeah. That's why batteries go bad, is because
Mhm.
they're sitting, they're not getting charged. Like,
Yeah.
your alternator charges over time.
Not by 3-minute stops.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're exhausted, especially with our emission vehicles. It doesn't have enough time to heat up if you're just putting. So I know you want that diesel truck,
Oh,
Tristan.
especially with diesels, God.
Yeah, but I get that it's fun and you're fresh out of high school and that's what you want. But if you're just putting it, it's not good for you. I mean, if you delete it and do all of that, you do you, boo boo. But I mean, if it still has warranty, just wait till it's out of factory warranty.
At least.
I get it. I do understand deleting. I 100% get it. But specifically on the Ford Power Strokes, I think that their newest version of the emissions really isn't that bad.
Well,
I think that they've really come a long way. And honestly, yeah, the black smoke was cool when I was 18, but like I'm 24 years old and that stuff just isn't as fancy, and I would honestly rather be able to start my truck and not have my whole house be covered in a smoke cloud.
Yeah.
I'm not hating blue.
Right. It's not, and like you said, the newer trucks are not the same diesel engines that they used to be.
Yeah.
They have been, all the emissions requirements have been out for a long time, and the manufacturers accepted that they're not going away. So they are engineered to run on these. They're engineered to give you as much power or more with the emission systems intact, and you're not getting any benefit from deleting new ones,
No.
really. Other than you're reducing your maintenance costs over time, because
Right.
you're not necessarily replacing your diesel particulate filter, or you're not buying DEF fluid or whatever, but it's not going to give you the same benefit overall.
Yeah.
That you would have gotten out of deleting an older vehicle that was a motor that was designed to run without any of those restrictions, and then all of a sudden just got them thrown onto it.
Yeah, and that's a big thing, is these things had to be engineered over time.
Yeah.
Because it was so forced, it was so rushed when it came out. They had to go through flukes, and it costed a lot of people a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, I definitely seen it at GMC. I mean, guys with these businesses that they've built from the ground up, possibly crumbling because the trucks they were relying on weren't cutting it. They weren't towing as much. They were derating constantly. Their DPFs were cracking constantly. I mean, I really felt for them.
Yeah.
And I struggled a lot with it. And I do that in my job continuously, is I struggle when people struggle. Because I don't want that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that just comes from, unfortunately, kind of caring about people. Maybe that's why I hate them. I hate you because I care about you.
That's exactly why we hate people. Well, it's and that wasn't an issue at Toyota because we didn't have any diesels.
Oh, must be nice.
But yeah, I mean, we went from, as far as the people are relying on that truck for their livelihood, like the new Tundras were absolutely the same way, because I mean, they went from the reliability of the 5.7, which was a rock solid V8.
Yep.
Decent power, horrible fuel economy. And it was just a well-built, strong truck. And then we came out with this new twin turbo, and I don't know, I personally have not seen Toyota with that big of a fail out of the factory. Which, I don't know, like, I'm sure COVID may have had a very significant impact on that, because that model was released in 2022.
Right.
So this new generation, this new twin turbo, all of it came post-COVID, and everybody across the industry has seen it. Like, post-COVID, quality control is non-existent. Parts fail left and right. Parts warranties have got to be through the roof. I'd like to speak to somebody that works at like Napa or CarQuest, in place that actually pays out labor claims on their parts when they fail, and see how significant a difference it is, because it's got to be hundreds of thousands of dollars more they're paying out per year on labor claims alone.
Because I definitely started this post-pandemic, and came into it after the pandemic as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I seen the difference.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
when I was going through school and like my earlier jobs, there weren't necessarily as an advisor, as a technician, but somewhere else in the industry,
mhm.
you didn't just expect parts to fail like this.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem to matter too much anymore if it's aftermarket or OEM.
Yeah, we used to say it was just because they're aftermarket.
Yeah.
And then we seen it with the factories. And I spoke specifically with a lot of people at the factories, you know, closer to today's date. Because I think for some reason, the last couple years have been the worst. As far as just how
Yeah.
many parts
Parts are failing.
warranties and parts failing.
The Jeep.
And yeah.
The Jeep we just sent. It was her car. It was her car. We just sent it over to Chrysler Friday to have them fill the air suspension because Chrysler's apparently the only ones in the valley that have the special tool to do that.
Whatever.
And the advisor who I know personally just called my cell phone. She's like, "Hey, the compressor's no good." I'm like,
We just installed it.
I looked at her. I'm like, "Didn't we just get that compressor?" And my first thought was it was O'Reilly's. It was an O'Reilly's compressor.
That's exactly
wasn't
what
it?
she thought.
So she pulled up the work order and no, it was from Chrysler.
Yeah.
So I told the advisor, I'm like, "Girl, we bought it from you."
Yeah, like, would you warranty this, please? Like, and it sucked because the customer was in a rental car and their insurance was paying it out. And a lot of people are like, well, who cares? Like, you're not paying, the customer's not paying for it. But, like, somebody
paying for it
is,
with their
and we
time.
care about it
Yeah.
because I work with all these people. So I work with those body shop people. I work with the insurance people. I work with the people, not this company. It's not this brand name. I work with these individuals that are also trying to help you. So I'm not going to make things harder on them. I'm going to try and get things done as fast as possible because they need it done.
Yeah.
And I think that's also different across the board. You just have to know your advisor.
Absolutely.
Because honestly, I mean, that's a lot of the hard thing about, at least in our experience, is finding a repair facility that is a good repair facility.
Yeah.
Good management, good structure. I mean, you're going to have bad apples. You're going to have bad situations and even things that aren't 100% great. I'm not saying things need to be perfect. However, there is a way of doing things, and we can't just decide one day, I'm not going to do this inspection because I need to sell it for $4,000.
Yeah.
And that's all, folks.